I'd like to call this meeting of the Sustainability Advisory Board to order on Monday, March 2nd. Would you please take the roll call?
Margie Davy,
I'm here.
Vic Oliver,
Here.
Jacob Claymeyer,
Here.
Lisa Moore,
Here.
Alyssa Rinke,
Here.
Jaden Zern,
Here.
Brad Spanbauer,
Here.
Amy Schuler, and Paul Trader.
Here.
8 present. We have quorum.
Thank you. Is there anybody here who would like to make a public comment tonight? In this case, seeing none, we'll move on to the approval of minutes of the February 2nd meeting.
So moved.
I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to first a motion to approve the minutes. Help.
Okay, then I'll second it.
So we have a motion and a second. How's that? All in favor of the minutes as written?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? You happy now?
Me?
Just checking. Jake, do we have sustainable activities and events to announce this month?
Yes, we have a variety of events, and apologies, I don't have them in exact chronological order, but I'm just going to go through my list here. Tomorrow, Tuesday, March 3rd, there is civics trivia. Obviously, the Sustainability Advisory Board itself is proof that civics is a part of sustainability, so that's at 5:30 at the Grand, and yeah, test out your knowledge on civics, and it goes to a good cause as well. Is there anything else there, Margie, about that
There'll
event?
be prizes.
Oh, okay, nice. We love that. We also have the Unity Oshkosh Community Resource Fair. They say it's resources for families and individuals, job and workforce information, supportive conversations with local organizations, guidance on navigating community services. There's a kids engagement area, multilingual materials and friendly volunteers, and also hair braiding and wellness events. So this is kind of just getting the community together. That is 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Vel Phillips Middle School on March 21st. We also have another community health related item. The QPR suicide prevention training is available for employees and volunteers of public health, human services, emergency services, and school districts throughout Wisconsin. They have a variety of dates available, but if you look up QPR for suicide prevention from the Community Action Coalition, you can see this free training if you're so eligible and you know somebody in your life that is. And just a piece on suicide prevention, there's always a resource 988 that people can call for professional help in that area. Call or text. We also, I saw our friends at the Oshkosh Healthy Neighborhood Alliance got a transportation and traffic grant. They're going to be having in-person and virtual sessions on safety around different school areas. There's a variety of dates, both virtual and in-person. I suppose I can quick read them out. In-person sessions, Thursday, March 12th at 6 p.m. at Vel Phillips, Conference Room B 103. Tuesday, March 17th at 6 p.m. at Oak Lawn Elementary School Media Center. And perhaps the virtual sessions, you're going to need to get on a computer anyways to find those. So look for those dates and times.
Jake, what can I just butt in quick? On the
Yeah.
virtual sessions, if you go to Oshkosh Healthy Neighborhoods homepage, those Zoom links are on there and the times as well. And it looks like Tuesday, Thursdays in March, starting next week.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah, and just a little bit more about it too. It's they're trying to identify and prioritize safer walking and biking routes to schools, parks, bus stops, support a whole bunch of different traffic improvement type things around schools. So they really want to hear the public opinion about that and different ideas. There's also a repair cafe on March 14th in Neenah. That's going to be at the public library up there. from 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. We also have, let's see, What a Waste. It is an event that is outreach by the Winnebago County Solid Waste Department, teaching people how we handle different materials. I believe this is going on with the Oshkosh Garden Club. They are having that presentation at 6:30 p.m. at Calvary Lutheran Church on March 12th. So if you want to learn more about municipal waste or recycling, definitely that's a place to go learn. We have more. Let's see. The last ones is just I saw some sewing classes at the Oshkosh Public Library. I believe those are on March 4th and 11th for kids. So it's like beginner projects for kids learning how to sew. We also have We're So Open at the Oshkosh Tool Library every Friday in March. So it's just people getting together and working on textile projects, including mending your clothes or building something yourself. So I think that's all of them that I have right now. Yeah, anybody else find any more? I'm sure there's more out there, even though that sounds like a ton, yeah.
I think Emma's actually in charge of that Safe Routes project, no? Do you
No.
know more about it?
So, not really much more than what Jake had presented. All I know is Oshkosh Healthy Neighborhoods is going to be that community, I guess, connector of the different partners that are going to be involved. So eventually, I believe some city departments will be involved, East Central Regional Plan Commission, and other community groups. But all of that communication and that grant was awarded to Oshkosh Healthy Neighborhoods. So I would follow along on their website if you're interested.
Great. Anybody else have anything?
A bit related to the events, I know it says announcement, but if we could talk about it maybe later. I was just thinking, like, I have all these events, is there a way to post it and share it? But maybe that's a future agenda item, maybe, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks. Brad?
Yeah, I was just going to share that the university we've really technically started our Earth Month events. There was one yesterday on campus, and we'll be adding some more, but I know some will be coming up before our next April meeting. But basically, if you just go to the university's website, uwosh.edu/CERT, SIRT, /Earth-month, or if you just search on the university website,
Can we just Google that?
Earth Month, all the 2026 events will be listed on there, and those are, generally free and open to the public.
And does that cover both March and April? sort of?
Yeah, so there are a few events in March. Most of them are in April, but there might be a few coming up before
our next meeting.
before our next meeting.
And our next meeting will be delayed by 2 days, just to remind everybody, because it's normally would fall too close to the election, so we'll have it on Thursday instead. Okay, anything else? Okay, moving on then to Bird City. In our packet, we got the Migratory Bird Day resolution, and I do just want to mention that while May 9th is the actual World Migration, it's such a long name, World Migratory Bird Day, we're actually holding the Oshkosh Bird Fest on May 2nd. So, and that will be before our next meeting too, no, it won't, there's April. There's a whole month in there, cool. Okay, at any rate, it will be at the Menominee Park again this year, and it'll start at 6 in the morning and run until noon, 6 in the morning for the early birds.
There it is.
Yeah, so sad, I know. There will be people out there actually looking at the sky going, look, did you see that? I won't be there because I go, no. And then we also have discussion on the resolution. Did y'all read it? Y'all know it's the same thing we do every year pretty much? Okay. So, anybody want to make a motion about this?
Motion to approve Bird City, May 9th.
Second?
Okay, any discussion, anyone? Okay, All in favor of passing this resolution, please say aye. Oh,
Aye.
do we need to have,
I think that's fine.
okay, so please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, thank you. And that takes us to Municipal Code, Chapter 26, Trees and Vegetation Edits and Urban Strategic Forestry Plan. We are having a staff update.
So just wanted to discuss a little bit. I know late last week I had shared the operations draft plan with the group. If you can get me any comments and questions or anything that you have, I will pass that along to Parks staff next Monday. Just kind of a rough timeline, I believe, on those projects. I think within the next month or two, the Parks Board will be getting a presentation from the consultant, but I will keep you updated on when that will be occurring, what meeting. So if you want to tune in, I would highly recommend if you have the availability to look into that. And then once these plans are move forward and hopefully approved, then it sounds like then staff will be looking into Chapter 26 and like more so the tree protection zones and tree management a little bit more. So that's the comments that were provided by SAB last year. I believe that's when those discussions will be had. So I don't know if there's any further discussion tonight. If you want to.
I think in your email you said March 9th you're looking for the feedback on
Yeah.
the plan?
Yep.
Okay. And then, is it okay if we just like comment on the Word doc that you sent us, or do you want it in a separate email?
Whatever is easiest, yeah. If you want to
Okay.
just red line or highlight sections and send those back to me, that would be great.
Okay.
So updates to you by Monday, or comments to you by Monday, and then you're going to let us all know when there's a kind of next opportunity for some input, because
Yeah.
we're going to be having there will be a presentation by the consultant sort of on that stage of the plan as it is at that point.
I believe so, yep. That's
Okay.
still to be determined. So once I know exactly where that timeline is going, I will send out another follow-up email and let you all know. But if it's prior to the next SAB meeting, for sure. So.
Okay, and that presentation will be given to the Parks Department? Or whatever it's called today?
I believe the Advisory Parks Board, I believe, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any questions on that, anyone? Next is our comprehensive energy study, a comprehensive energy plan, actually, staff update.
Okay, so I know last month we talked about potentially workshopping this, and staff had to just take a step back. Staff met with Focus on Energy just through a virtual meeting just to get to know one another. There's been some staffing changes on Focus on Energy's side, but it sounds like they are willing to help us kind of take those next steps with the comprehensive energy plan. They're planning on coming on site. The dates are still being figured out to look through some of those priority buildings that are outlined in the comprehensive energy plan. I think the first step is kind of addressing like some low-hanging fruit. So, maybe not a huge solar project, but where are things that maybe don't cost any money that the city could save in some areas. And then hopefully within that visit as well, they are going to help staff, I believe, Brandon more so get used to putting in our data on Energy Star portfolio. As you may remember, part of the comprehensive energy plan project was getting some baseline information added to that so we can track our energy usage moving forward. So we have that 2025 data, but we really need some assistance with inputting that. But we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, again, that's something to look forward to in the next month or so. I'll let you know when those on-site visits happen and how they go. But yeah, I think we're moving forward, so that's great.
Good. I read a really interesting article that, and I don't remember if I sent it to anybody or if I just absorbed it, or I don't think I dreamed it, so there's that, that talked about Ukraine and how they are rebuilding their energy with wind and solar because that can be so much more diversified and it's harder to knock out everything at once. Now, hopefully that's not something that we have to be considering, but I thought it was a very interesting point. So I just wanted to share that. Okay, that's it for a comprehensive energy plan unless anyone else, okay. Sustainability plan.
So I think we're pretty much done with data collection. Just as a reminder, the planning community input team survey will be open until the end of March. I believe March 29th is that last day. We're still in need of people to sign up for that, so if you can spread that word, that would be great. And then I think once that group's finalized, then some of those input sessions will occur, I believe from April to August, and when the actual drafting of the plan will begin. And another update is with this project, Pale Blue Dot has created a greenhouse gas inventory study, a renewable energy potential study, and a ground cover study. And those are all linked to the public-facing site currently of the plan. I think they're all more so in draft stage right now, but if you were interested in looking in those, or I can send a follow-up email of those studies. They were just sent to us late last week, so I haven't really looked at them a ton. If you want, I can show you again the quickest way probably to get to the public-facing site. So what you'll do is you'll go to the city's homepage, and right now everything related to the sustainability plan is on this hot topics right in the middle. So you'll go get the details. Oops. And then this first bullet point here will bring you to the web page. So here's that input team. Again, with the deadline for the survey, you scroll down, and here are where all of those studies live, plus the energy plan that was completed. So all updates really will be on this site first. So any questions on this?
Should members of this committee be applying for the community team?
So-
Or are we automatically kind of like,
It's up to you all. If you all want to apply, go ahead. I believe last meeting I shared that staff was just thinking potentially that subcommittee that was created last year would be the individuals, but if you want to change it up a little bit, that's completely fine. You can leave it up to the consultant and staff to decide who's on that committee. You can decide amongst yourselves. I think the idea was just to avoid any sort of walking quorum or quorum issues, but feel free.
so we're limited to how many of us?
3.
Okay.
And then those
Just wanted to be
individuals
sure.
would be they would provide the updates in the SAB meetings of what those meetings were all about. And
Okay, thanks.
yeah.
Do you have access to who has signed up or applied to be on that team? If we're getting numbers and diversity in the folks that are applying?
So I don't have the individuals. I can share that it's currently less than 10. There's only 2 to 3 people signed up right now, so we really
And your
need.
goal is how many?
What was that?
How many would you like on the committee or the team?
We're hoping as many as we can get. I know the consultant had stated that they've had groups up to 50,
wow.
or some that are less than 10 works fine too. But I think we would prefer if more people signed up to get that diversity of different individuals. So
Is it
Okay.
like a lack of just information, not knowing the dates that we're thinking people aren't signing up, or they just don't know what to expect? I know I've sent it out to my network, but is there any like additional information you can kind of like say about like what the public would be doing?
we could put out more information, or I could send some potential pointers to share. I know we have some language, social media wise and newsletter wise, that we want to get out that we should have gotten out probably a month ago. But I can share that with all of you if you want to pass that along.
It looks like when you click on the apply for the community team, it says, team will work together through a series of 4 workshops between April and August. Team will be asked to complete tasks between workshops. Estimated time is 3 to 5 hours per month. So, that will give people some idea of the amount of workload. I think that would go into something like this if folks want to, dive in. But at least that's,
So basically, we have to help get the word out that this exists.
Yes, please, yes.
Because if we've only got that many people signed up, people don't know about it.
right.
And if we, March 20th rolls around and we're still not quite at the numbers we want to be at, we can extend the deadline a little bit, but I think we're going to really try to push it in the next couple of weeks to get some more people signed up.
But the survey, which is just kind of for like general feedback about items going into the sustainability plan, is open through the end of April.
Correct.
Okay.
We have a lot more responses on that.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're at 75 or something
Oh,
for
wow.
that. So that's great for it only being open a month.
Out of 66,000 people, that's not
Yeah.
bad. Well, that's not very sustainable. Okay, anything else on that? Moving on then to the stormwater credit utility policy.
So, Common Council had approved the policy edits at their February meeting. And this that I had added to the agenda packet is just some additional data on the policy, so where it can be found on the website, when it was implemented, some recent data from the past years, how many of these credits are out, and then just some information some different policies from other surrounding communities. So staff was, I guess, just wondering what the board, I know there's been some conversation about updating some of the language in the utility policy. What are the next steps now after seeing those updates that were completed in February? What are the board's thoughts moving forward?
Yeah, I think this was originally brought up as something that we could condense and make it easier for people to apply, with the goal of increasing the number of applications, people installing rain barrels and or getting credit for them, as well as the other rain garden type things. And we're seeing like one person in the past 3 years for rain gardens. That might be a place to improve as well. And then, yeah, seeing the other cities' versions of that, I think helped me at least understand what kind of scope we have. It's like, or a range of solutions, from a very calculated type credit to something really simple to fill out. So I think that's going to be the majority of the discussion is what do we like, what do we not want to incorporate, how do we want to change, right?
Right.
Agreed.
Well, I attempted to fill it out, and just be like, I'm a person who's trying to fill it out and figure it out. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty smart when it comes to stormwater stuff, since that is my job. And it still took me 45 minutes to an hour to be like, am I doing the math right? Okay, let me find some software, because I know you can call the city and ask them for assistance with figuring out your impermeable surface. But then I started questioning, well, what are they considering impermeable? Are they including driveway in that, or are we just doing roof measurement? And then I was like, okay, so then I found this Google Maps edition that I could put in polygons that would tell me the size of the area I'm looking at, so I could measure the impervious surface of my roof and then try and calculate that. So that was about an hour. It's about an hour of Googling and questioning things, and I think that's the core of where this discussion comes in, is not that I'm an expert by any means, but I do have a little bit more knowledge than the most residents, since I work in the field. Is that accessible? And I don't know if that necessarily is.
And what's the return on investment on that?
Right.
Because you go through all that and what you get back.
Well, by the time I earned back the fee for the application, it was a while. So depending on what's considered impervious or not.
Emma, can you go down to question 4? Okay. By the way, these were all questions that I asked to staff. I sent to staff and asked for data and some information on, so that's where how this materialized. So after an application is submitted, staff review it, conduct a field visit, complete calculations to determine reduction amount based on the impervious area draining to the rain barrel rain garden, or if it's an eligible riparian water body. Describing the application, once approved, the credit is applied and deducted monthly. So you pay the $10 fee, you submit your application, you pay the $10 fee, someone comes out and verifies all the information, and then you receive the credit monthly on the bill. I guess maybe my next question would be, or I'd be curious to know, like, when you tried filling out that form, does it give you what your estimated monthly savings is going to be? Does it give you that dollar amount?
You do the math to figure out what that would look like.
And it gives you that. I mean, like when you filled it out, what was it going to be? Like $5 a month, $10 a month?
If I remember
think it's
right, it
that
gives you a
much.
percentage
Yeah.
of your stormwater credit. So you have to look at your bill and say, this is how much I'm paying for stormwater utility. And it's going to be a percentage of that, because it is flow rate based as well. So you couldn't just calculate it right there on the form. You need to know what your water usage is. But at least the percentage is an output of the current form in Oshkosh.
And the credit is only applied to the stormwater charge, not to your water line charge or your sewer line charge or your
I
other.
understood.
It's just to the stormwater.
Yeah, because I believe there's a stormwater charge on the water bill,
Right.
so it's removed from the bill as a whole,
And then it's
or
just
credited
the
as a bill.
percent
Credit to a small percentage of that piece of it.
applied to that piece.
And I thought I didn't try to do it, but I saw a sample somewhere, and it could be a couple dollars a month.
Yeah. I'm not so worried about the return on investment that much, because what I like about Oshkosh is, when you look at a couple of the examples, and I was also looking for other examples, is that it's a continuous credit rather than a one-time credit, so you don't have to keep reapplying.
Yes, I agree.
The concerns I have with it is just the readability in the process of filling
Right.
it out, really. I think there's some definitions that can be included, maybe an example.
And I think to your point, yeah, I mean, I guess having looked through it and when you kind of try to address it, to me it just needs to be more like, step one, find the area of your roof. Step two,
Yes.
find the area of your driveway.
Agreed.
Right? Like it needs to walk you through, I think, very straightforward. Find the area of these things on your property. Do this calculation, and then, right? Like, I think it needs to be that way, more straightforward. Because to your point, I think, if we scroll back up, there's been what, a small handful?
We've got.
I mean, there were 3 last year.
9, 10, you have 13 total.
So in a
What is
high year, we
total?
had 6, 3 years ago, and then 4, and then 3.
Yep.
If I could, Brad, I somewhat disagree. Like, in some ways, yeah, it could be made easier in our steps. Like, but we're still putting the onus on the person applying to do calculations, right? Which is really the part that's slowing everybody down. But
I think
if
so,
you look
too.
at the answer to number 4 there, it's saying that staff is already doing this work too. They're doing the site evaluation. They're checking the impervious area, and then they're approving it, right? So if they're already doing that work, why does the person applying for it have to do it to ask for that? It's like this, and what it could look like if you go down all the way to the Madison one at the very end, it doesn't have any calculations on it. It's just saying, here's my address, I want to apply for this particular thing, and then the city would get back to you and say, this is, here's the calculation we did. Because they, again, have to check it already in the current way. And it's the very last page, yeah. It's just saying, what is the credit and that you're applying for, and submit it to the city. I mean, that's the simplest we could ever make it, and I would be a proponent of that.
I agree.
I would agree as well. I think another issue with the one that we currently have. I don't appreciate for a rain barrel credit, enclose a copy of the manufacturer's installation instructions or a photograph of the installed rain barrel, yet city staff is going to come do an on-site, essentially, assessment of said rain barrel. Like, why am I submitting photographs? And then for a rain garden credit, enclose a list of plants used. What's the comparison list we're using in order to approve or deny that? I have concerns with that as well.
And if there's concerns about like staff time, which I think like we get our wish and a whole bunch of people apply, like I could see that is putting potentially a lot on them. I would suggest like if our board would be open to doing site visits, just like they do for the traffic and pedestrian safety board. We could go out there and take a look and present in this forum to say, hey, I checked it out, it looks good, we should approve it and provide that recommendation to the city. So, I mean, there's more solutions. I just want to bring up.
Agreed.
I don't know how specific GIS is, but isn't this something the city could figure out from the address? That must be what Madison's doing.
Yes.
Yes.
So it is kind of silly to have us, I mean, I was thinking, whatever site you said you had to go out and maybe we should include that, where you're making your polygons,
That was my thought. It's really, like, the site that I found is literally, it's just a website that has Google Maps on it, and then you just click and put dots, and that tells you the area. So that would basically be filling in the numbers for you. So
For somebody who's computer literate, that would not be too onerous maybe, but what about people who want to apply who really don't have a lot of computer skills? I mean, that's why I like that Madison idea a lot.
The simpler, the better, actually. And if you've got people out from the city double checking the work anyway that you're right now requiring the homeowner to do, that's duplication of effort, first of all. And the more complicated you make things for most homeowners and most people, they're not going to do it because it's not worth their time. So
I agree in making it easy. I just think in general, up until this point, as someone who is now on council and interacting a lot more at the staff level, what I'm hearing overwhelmingly is like staff have a lot to do. Yeah. And so I think maybe we need to explore options in like, is there a middle ground in between like this, or is there just, I guess like a way to find some smart shortcuts that's like similar to the Madison example. Do you know what I'm saying?
Simpler,
like
better than complicated. The little cross one. I don't know how many people are doing rain barrels and gardens in La Crosse. That is, holy man, it's like 6 pages long.
Might it be worthwhile to have some kind of workshop where we understand what the actual needs and requirements are, and what the process currently looks like, so that we're keeping that in mind when we're potentially recommending a solution?
I think a workshop would be a great idea.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can come back with what engineering definitely needs on that on the credit application, and then from there maybe kind of piece together what from other communities the board likes, what maybe is fluff, or let's add these definitions here. I think that's a good step moving forward.
Yeah, what are the questions that they need to know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe some type of like flow chart or image that walks you through the steps could be helpful as well, or a checklist or something.
No, like Brad said, step 1, step 2, step 3. Yeah. I know a lot of people, and myself included, would look at that and just go, how am I going to get all this? Forget it.
Right. I mean, I used to do construction, and I still have trouble, estimating roof area and all that sort of thing. It takes time. I can do it, but not everybody has that background, and so again, they would be lost before they got past page 1.
Well, I think
so. It's
the ultimate goal here, right, is like we want to make this easier. We want more people applying for this. We've talked about, I think, in previous meetings where this will ultimately help the city's kind of conveyance of stormwater.
right.
It will make getting a rain barrel more interesting.
Yeah.
Exciting
it's-
for somebody.
Right. I mean, and yeah, okay, if it's, as someone pointed out, I think earlier, if it's $2 a month, well, okay, you've paid $10. Well, in 5 months, you've now paid that back, and then going forward, I mean, I just know previous council members have pointed out that like our stormwater rates are some of the highest in the state. I also remind people, and have been reminding people more regularly, especially since we have a watershed conference coming up tomorrow, that like the city of Oshkosh sits at a very, very specific place. We sit at the convergence of a major river and the largest inland lake in Wisconsin. And so we need to be very, very careful with our water. And we're not Omro, we're not Appleton, we're not these other cities that are not sitting right at the place where a major river and the largest inland lake in Wisconsin meet. That's what's special about Oshkosh.
Well, and aren't we also one of the largest watersheds in the state? Don't we take it from the largest areas?
We're from a very large watershed.
Yeah, our watershed's 10% of Wisconsin.
That's pretty significant.
It is.
It
It's
is.
very significant.
And I was wondering, do we have any idea of how many residences you would like to have participating in this program over time to help?
66,000.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree, everyone should have one, but
Well, and I guess I would also just be really curious to know
where would it start making a big difference?
How
What
many-
threshold?
to the point Jake made earlier, which I agree with. I mean, I am all in favor of making this as easy as humanly possible, particularly for those who may not be as adept as getting on a computer and like filling all this out, right, and doing that whole thing. If you could sign off and say, I have a rain barrel, I'd like a credit applied to my water bill every month, and then the city staff are going to have to do something in the background, and I'm not saying that's the solution, I'm just saying that is a potential solution. But how many people out there already have a rain barrel on their house and aren't getting some credit for this?
Quite
I
a
got
few.
two.
So, like, there's give and take here, and I think we need to just figure out what's the, like, thread the needle happy medium.
Well, I did really like Appleton's. Appleton's is kind of that straightforward, check the box, and then here are the steps that are going to follow. You still have to provide like the location, the manufacturer
I
information.
kind of like Appleton's
Okay,
also.
if we're
It's
going to be-
relatively simple.
If we're going to be workshopping this,
Yeah.
I think we should stop this discussion here, put it on a workshop for in the next month or two when we
Sure.
can, and finish this discussion then. And we'll have more data by then too, so. Okay, great. Thanks, everybody.
Yep.
Next up is the summer farmers market discussion. Because we're going to be workshopping that, is there anything we need to do before that?
Do you want to discuss dates?
At least the
No.
dates.
Just so we can get the application.
Well, yeah, you don't think that's appropriate for the workshop? You think it's better now?
It's up to you.
I think it might, let's hold that for the
Sure.
workshop too, because we're gonna be giving a lot of personal information during that too, I have a feeling. So we'll hold that for the workshop, the whole discussion there. And agenda items for future meetings, I have down a stormwater credit workshop. Others? Wow, did we get everything else taken care of?
I would say just like I know, Emma, you typically do this, but I would say just any continual updates on the forest plan, the energy
Right.
plan, the sustainability plan, like keep those as standing items for monthly updates.
Agreed.
I agree. And we've been pretty good about doing that,
Yeah.
so. Okay then, well, anything else? Okay. Our next meeting will be Thursday, April 9th at 6 o'clock in this very room. And I would take a motion to adjourn to workshop, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? I have yet to hear anybody opposed to adjourn.